Welcome to episode 7 of Beyond the Comic Con. Thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you're liking and subscribing, that helps. And if you can see your way, a comment or a review would be really helpful too. Thank you. Today I have with me one of the voices from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, just to name a few. And maybe, just maybe, someone from Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, I'm talking about Kellen Goff is in the house with me today. Just a vocal master and can just adjust their voice from like hideously insane to very cutesy and loving. And it's incredible what Kellen can do with their voice. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Kellen, take it away. In the house, Kellen Goff with me now. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm great because I'm talking to you, but you must be look, we're a few weeks away from Five Nights at Freddy 2 dropping. So look, come on, you must be so excited right now.
I am on the moon, over it even. I cannot wait for it to come out finally so everybody can let me know what they think of it because we've been sitting on it for so long. I can't we adore to hear what the fans think of it because it's for the fans first and foremost. It's a love letter to you guys, so can't wait to see what y'all think.
I mean, that must blow your mind. Like something comes from a game and is now a movie that demands a sequel.
Yeah, it's something, all right. When I was recording this stuff in my parents' house, still living with my parents, I never expected a movie would come of it. But you can see why. It's lore rich. It's just an awesome series. The aesthetics are dope too. Just so much to love about it. So I am so glad it's getting its roses in this way.
Oh, so I mean, look, you get the game, you get a movie, and for me as a DJ, I get soundtracks. You know, people are remixing Five Nights at Freddy stuff all the time, and it always goes off. It always kicks the party off. So, I mean, Kellen, I've done a couple of interviews with some voice actors, and going through it, everyone has got like these amazing talents. However, looking up all your stuff, you are often referred to here as a voice chameleon, a vocal chameleon. So,
very flattering.
Just wanted to kick it off. If you had 3 of your favorite voices that you've done, order a cup of coffee right now, and they're in the coffee shop, which order would they order? And let's hear them order 3 different cups of coffee.
Interesting. Well, I think. Okay, Overhaul would definitely just take it black because he doesn't want anything special in it contaminating it. He wants to keep it nice and pure and clean. I think Sasaki and Miyano would get the unicorn one that Starbucks did.
Yes.
I think he'd want to try it because he likes sweet stuff. And Glamrock Freddy, if there was anything that was like made it taste cake flavored, he would be on that. So like if there was some kind of creamer that had sprinkles in it too.
Yeah, or some cinnamon in there as well, I reckon.
Perhaps, yeah.
So is there one, being this vocal chameleon and this pulling out all of these voices, has there ever been one character that's just made you go, wow, how did I pull that off? And where did that come from? How do you pull these sounds out of your body?
Well, I see, the longer I spend that stuff happened a lot early on when I was experimenting with what I could do, where I could take my voice and everything. But as time went on, I I got used to it a little bit, but that doesn't mean I don't have fun with it. Just to say, like, the stuff that like every now and again there is something I can I there are like certain impressions I can do which I can't talk about yet. But I was like, wow, I can do that. That's so dope. And then of course there's Fiddlesticks, which was it's a lot of the stuff I knew I could do, but I didn't know I could keep it that dry and airy for that long. That was an experiment in that for sure. And my favorite part of it is making other people have that reaction, like, you can do that. Like that's my favorite reaction to get out of people.
I mean, you said that about Fiddlesticks and how sort of dry and that is, and how long you have to keep that character going for when you're in those recording sessions. Is there anything that you have to do in particular to keep that? How do you get in that mindset, or is it just lots of vocal training, or constantly drinking and strepsils like the throat sweets that we talk about, things like that?
It's a good mix. It's a lot of vocal training to get there, of course. Want to make sure that you're not hurting yourself or anything. But then it's all, of course, knowing your limits as well. When we were recording Fiddlesticks, we did it over the course of, I believe, 4 weeks, 8 sessions, something to that effect. And it was such a respectful environment. They were like, we can take breaks as often as you want. We've got all the time in the world. And that's a very unique thing with jobs in this industry. Usually it's very we go, and we rented the studio for a certain amount of time. But no, Riot was quite generous with the time there, so it was a lot of breaks. As the sessions went on, it would start at breaks every half an hour, then every 15 minutes, and then as much as we could do, until sometimes we would take breaks every 5 minutes if it was starting to get there, because it doesn't hurt if you do it right. It's just sort of like a rug burn type of thing. It's like breathing that much air in a certain way for a certain amount of time starts to like burn the places that don't usually take on that much air. So it's something to be cognizant of as you go on. But I've done sessions after Fiddlesticks before as well. So it's just knowing your limits at the end of the day when it comes to Fiddlesticks and voices like him or it.
and it's very much and working with people like Riot Games, I've had the pleasure of working with them as well a couple of times for DJing, doing parties, weirdly. So
they're awesome.
Just a great bunch of people that are just doing the right stuff with League of Legends and all of that good stuff as well. So it's amazing. Kellen, you've been very open about linking your high functioning autism to your ability to replicate and store complex noises. A vocal superpower, you would say. How did you go about recognizing that connection, and how has that changed your craft? Because I feel like most of us in this Comic-Con world, there's a line, and we're all balancing around on it somewhere. I know I'm on the ADHD side with a splash of autism and stuff. So, and to do some of the things that we do, there is a little trigger in our brains. But if you wouldn't mind explaining how that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I didn't know that I was on the spectrum until I was like 17, 18, maybe even older, because my parents, they knew early on, but they didn't want me to ever use it as a crutch. They didn't want me to try and seek out special treatment with it. They wanted me to figure out life before I knew that. because I guess that's what my dad wished had happened with him and his him being on the spectrum. And I'm very grateful that they did, because I learned how to, interact with people best I can. I didn't have anybody treating me in a certain way growing up, so I now have that perspective of what it's like to be, treated as someone completely neurotypical. But then also now I know how it is this way, and having that perspective makes you more thankful, and I like the word cognizant lately. Cognizant of
it's a great word, yeah.
I love God. Of what the stuff that makes people more comfortable. Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're going to be you, then you shouldn't care what other people think of you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more like I learned how to, talk to people and human speech, basically. Regular human speech and all that. And I feel like if I had known, it's possible, at least, that if I had known I had autism early on, then I might not have been able to. I might have gotten my own head and been like, well, I'm not like them, so why should I have to talk like them? Well, it's like learning another language. You can be bilingual. But when it comes to the voice acting part of it, I always knew I could replicate and mimic and store these sounds and all that, but I never knew why. But now knowing it's because of the autism, it validates it a lot for me. It really helps. Learning that I was autistic made a lot of things click for me, and it was like a relief that I didn't know that I could have. A relief that only comes after a long workout, So yeah, I am of the mind that like autism. I'm always of the mind that autism is a superpower, and you just have to learn your specific way of how to use yours. And a lot of it is for us playing pretend and LARPing and mimicking and all that. You can turn that into anything else you want to if when you acquire it, you break it down into its elements and then recombine them with other sounds you might have mimicked to make something new. So that's my process for in that regard.
Do you know what? I love that. There was something you said there, and I feel exactly the same. I found out about my whole thing later in life of a daughter and taking her, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to just try this little test thing we have here?" And finding out, like, but you say it's like having a gym workout, and actually, you have a gym workout. It's hard, right? It's hard on the body. So you have that little bit of hardness in the life, but at the end of it, when you get to the end, you have that relief at the end, and getting that like knowledge of, almost sort of validating some of those things that you've been through in your life, and then you come to that end part, and they go, by the way, you've got this. This is the reason why some of that stuff was hard. You're like, oh, yeah. And 100% like yourself, to be put on a path that you're on now by not going, oh, I'm a quote unquote, this the neurodivergent and neurotypical different, whatever. Like, I go, no, I'm. This is what I'm doing. This is the way I'm doing it. Oh, and that's why I do it like that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now it makes sense. It was
a big milestone on the journey of self-acceptance. It made me realize the reasons that I didn't see what others were seeing, or that I saw things that others weren't seeing. It made me realize why I did what I did, who I hung out with, pretty much the way I think. And embracing that, I feel like, is like anything in life, embracing what you've got and taking your own control of it, or going with the flow and having that be your control. That I feel like that's the best way to go about anything. So for a while, I will admit, I was, hiding the autism thing, fighting against it, because I was afraid that people would look at me different and everything. But turns out, if you can absolutely admit it and be proud of it, because people are going to laud you for your honesty and for being yourself. It will inspire them as well.
No, thank you for being unapologetically you, my friend.
Of course. Likewise, you're doing your thing.
No, literally, we've been chatting for a couple of minutes. You are a very chipper person. You're very upbeat. We all have our days, right? But look, the villain grind. Speaking of the complexity of villains like Overhaul and Diavolo from JoJo, that's intense, man. How do you get into this dark decompression ritual after, you've got to become nasty? And then how do you come out of a particularly heavy session like that? Because again, people like ourselves, like I know with it, my dear cheating, definitely with your autism, you carry that weight. You'll wear your heart on your sleeve, and some of these roles are going to be big on you.
Absolutely. Some have very much weighed on me. Diavolo and Overhaul were, they were really fun, but I mean, personally, me, someone who has been, misunderstood in my life and has had people, call, like I've been called creepy a lot, and in growing up and all that. So being a villain, that's part of the self-acceptance thing for me, that I'm good at being a villain, so I can use that to entertain people and connect with people. But it's just, you can see with people like the Game of Thrones actor who played the Boy King. I
know exactly who you mean, and the listeners are shouting out right now the name. He
took a break from acting, I feel like, after that, because he was just it was getting into that dark mind space. It does something to people. Aaron Paul just said he's not going to come back as Powerplex in this next season of Invincible, because it was just such a soul-wrenching role to play. He's just the Powerplex is just pain, and I completely understand. So it's something that, if you do it right, then you really get into that dark place, like you're saying. Or, I mean, I've some days I need to do that, and some days it just feels like I'm sort of holding my breath underwater emotionally, like I'm swimming around underwater to an extent, and I feel like that's my mind keeping Kellen, keeping the breath in my lungs. Kellen is the breath in my lungs while I'm swimming around in this evil sea. But then after the session, or in between takes, I'll come up for air and breathe more Kellen in. It's After the sessions, it can be really heavy if I had to go down and hold my breath a lot. My lungs get, my proverbial lungs get tired, of course. And after that, I have like happy movies. Sometimes I watch let's plays of people just laughing at really stupid stuff. Just I try and do something in nature or watch something just stupid funny for the heck of it, just to make life simple again.
Just to get Kellen to swim to the top again.
Yeah. And this makes this whole metaphor for all of this makes it sound like I don't enjoy being a villain. It's not true. I do enjoy the process of acting as a villain. It's just it can be a lot tougher on a person than being the good guy. There are parts of being a good guy, like if they have a really bad backstory and stuff, they got the negative emotions that way. But or if they have to do really awful things. But yeah, just being the bad guy for that long when it's like I feel like in anything, going against your own nature, you can only do it for so long before that nature starts to become you. And I never want to lose myself completely in the role. So I just recognize it as sort of it's a burger. I can have it. I can eat it, and I can eat it to completion. I can enjoy it, but then I have to exercise and eat well afterwards because got to keep my body up.
Yeah. There's no one that does analogies like you, by the way. It's awesome.
And that's an autism thing too, by the way. We do our best to express ourselves in any way possible.
Yeah, I think that people don't understand sometimes the demands that voice actors go through, and especially
actors
villains.
In general,
yeah. But for villains, because the idea is the villain doesn't believe they're the villain, and that's also part of this crazy thing. So
it's doing this despicable things too, whether you think you're the villain or not. But I mean, to do it convincingly, you have to take that in. You have to reach into the most despicable parts of your mind and let them out. And it's like, it can be like emotion like that can be very hard on someone. So thank you for recognizing that. I really appreciate you validating.
No, man, you're doing an amazing job. And Kellen, we'll take it to the Five Nights world now. We'll try and dodge some minefields along the way
topical.
as well. Very topical. But can I just confirm? I kind of read and I've heard there is a Foxy phone story, I believe. So you with the
yes.
Is this right? Did you have to record some of those parts on your phone? So not a recording studio. I mean, we voice actors have to have their studios and all of the equipment, and you're just going in on your phone, man. What's it?
So in the first movie, I was I was away from Los Angeles for a bit. I was at Shakespeare camp for a little bit, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a month of being in the middle of nowhere, Massachusetts, basically. And I didn't know where we were on the production of the movie. This is for the first movie, and at the time, I wasn't sure if I would even be a part of it. But Scott messaged me about halfway through that month of the month-long intensive and said, "We can't find the rights to the original sound. So would you mind recording the Foxy's diddly dums for us? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I can absolutely do it when I get back. I don't really have any sound recording equipment or facility with me right now, but I can absolutely do it when I come back. And he's like, we need it now, though. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, he's metallic and stuff anyway, and in dilapidated in a echoing hall. Yeah. So, what ended up happening was I did about 8 takes of it on this phone right here, and and I put them on the laptop. Usually Scott likes it when the clips I send come in. He likes to have them, nothing done to them, but then he does like to have some passes of potential vocal effects on it added, like in post, because that's a big part of what I do as well. I'm a sound editor as well. And so I added some reverb. I think I stuttered it up a little bit. I made it sound creepy, like it was in a hallway, and the Hollywood sound editors made that sound studio quality, and I am in awe of them for being able to find the noise gates and filters needed to do that.
I mean, yeah, and in all review, to actually be able to produce something good enough for them to actually be able to do that as well. So
that's right.
It's teamwork makes the dream work on that one.
That's
by
right.
The sense
That's
right. So, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Yep. The announcement, huge. The well-deserved sequel. Now, without spoilers, what's it like coming back to the role? The role like Toy Freddy, knowing the scale of the sequel, and how does that preparation differ for you from the first time? So the first time you get the role, is there any new kind of takes on it that you have to do, and ways that you have to learn to train your voice or anything like that, or mind preparations, without spoilers, of course?
Yeah,
we don't want to give the game away.
Yeah, I will just say, I haven't done Toy Freddy in the games before. This is a new character for me. Originally done by the brilliant Darren Roebuck, and we did a bunch of takes. We did one to honor the original, where it came from. We tried, and then we tried stuff that was a bit more out there. And then we tried stuff that was a good mix of all elements, and I'm very much liking where it came from. When it comes to FNAF games, fans always come first, so we always want to do our best to make sure they know that we're doing our best to make as much of it one-to-one as possible. And having seen what I've seen, they've done a fantastic job of that. So yes, we did our best with that, and it was in an actual studio this time. So had the director Emma Tommy with us and everything, and we gave it a go, and I can't wait for you guys to hear how it came out.
We can't wait to hear it, see it, feel it. This is going to be amazing. So, especially with the first one being such a success, and this one coming out now just before Christmas. What was the date on that as well? It's the January, December the 5th. Yes. December. Yeah. So, man, not long at all now. So,
not at all.
Thanks for fitting me in on what's probably a really busy press period for you as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, more than happy to. It is quite the busy press period, but I'm so grateful to be included in it. This is my first time doing anything quite like this, with all the press and the events and the being put into the marketing and all that. I'm having a blast. So
Good. Enjoy it.
I'm
You
very
should.
grateful to
Well
Scott
done.
and to Blumhouse and to Universal and everybody for having me.
I'm sure they're more than stoked to have you on board. And obviously, being as busy as you are with all of the voice work and the stuff that you do and the production side of things, the ink tank creative stuff that you do as well, Matt.
Yeah.
Like, so outside of acting, you work with the ink tank on YouTube. How does jumping from being a voice actor, producer stuff, and being to a content creator as such? How do you balance all of this?
It's a fragile thing, this balance. Where I'm currently, on the production schedule was such that I am currently also heading up production on one of our new videos coming out right now as well. So in the spare moments where I can find them outside of doing auditions and press and all this stuff, I'm doing video editing, scripting, and coordination of filming for this new video as well. And then we do all our other ancillary stuff, commercials for our new Creo deck that's coming out soon. Streams drawing with Kuro and Kellen on Tuesdays, which I actually was just at right before this. And just it's all good fun. I do my best to take my breaths when I can. Like last night, I decompressed a bit by I'm going to this Friendsgiving soon, so cooking my some Goff family recipes last night was very therapeutic.
Oh, lovely.
But yeah, it's making sure to let everybody know my limits, the limitations of my schedule, the limitations of my body and mind and all that. And more often than not, people are very understanding and even willing to lend a hand on certain things if I just can't do it that day. Knowing your limits has been a big lesson for me and a big reason that I'm surviving 30 so far.
You're the third voice actor that I've had on my podcast now. And you're the third voice actor to say this as well. It's about knowing your limits and letting other people know those limits and when you've reached them. It's really important, I think.
It is
to put that out there.
It really is, yeah.
But you also said something that I just wanted to go back on there. You talked about the Thanksgiving cooking and Goff family recipe.
Yeah.
What did you cook? We need to know. What was being cooked up?
So I tried some Goff rice. I couldn't get it quite right, so I scrapped that one this time. But the main Goff family recipe is the Goff famous bourbon balls, which is I can't really. My grandma would haunt my dreams. Rest her soul.
We're all just gonna have to imagine the recipe.
If I told anything about the recipe, but they're basically these vanilla donut hole type bites, and they have a lot of bourbon in them. So about
they sound amazing.
About three is enough to knock out a heavyweight in my experience, if you do it right. I dumbed down the proofing of the bourbon this time around.
Because of non-family members, I assume that's...
I don't... I mean, there's a lot of people I'm cooking for the first time. I don't want to mess them up and have that be the first impression.
That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, they're lovely. They just like powdered sugar on top and all that. They're like little donut holes.
Oh, that's so when we finally get to meet at a Comic Con, that's what I want to come grab some of them balls from you.
If I'm going to a Comic Con, I would need a fully stocked kitchen in my hotel room because this process is pretty involved.
Yeah. So as the podcast is called Beyond the Comic Con, you guys as voice actors, you're always out there as well, meeting the fans, which is an amazing experience. And I've seen over the years, you know, people are taking more and more of an interest in voice actors, and I'm having that interest in knowing who's behind the voices of their favorite characters. Now, I've been on stage. This has happened. A guest of mine was present because you get lots of lovely gifts as well, and you get these wonderful fan moments. Now, somebody brought one of my guests once a taxidermied creature of the character that they played.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a bit out there. Have you had any kind of out there fan moments? Any kind of gifts that kind of stand out, or fan art? So you go,
Yeah, there's a few. There was, Overhaul in the story. He loses his arms at the end of his arc. It's been long enough that I don't feel like that's spoilers to say. So they gave me two prosthetic arms as a gift with bloody bits at the end. That was pretty funny. I think I still have one of them somewhere. I was like, you keep one of them. I think I can only fit one in my suitcase, but this is hilarious. So that was funny.
You sign one of them for them and give it back?
I believe so. All I remember is the gift. And the reaction that we had. And then there was a horror con here down in Long Beach, where somebody made my tombstone for me. It was foam.
Wow.
So it's easy to carry around, but it had my name on it and everything. And that was one of the more unique ones I've gotten, to be sure. I still have that in my living room.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a spooky con. It is.
Yeah, I like
totally
it.
On theme.
Yeah, totally on theme, and it's kind of out there. So yeah, and again, one of those standout moments in your career so far.
Absolutely.
And if you were to, obviously, you guys, you take part in so many different panels and things like that, talking about all of the different experiences you've had on all of the different shows and things and games. If you could create a panel of your own choice, Kellen, and you can bring in anyone, dead, alive, what kind of Comic-Con panel do you think you would create? And you can do anything you like. This is all you.
Well, some of my favorite panels that I've been on have been script readings. We don't do them as often anymore, and it's a shame. I don't see them quite as often. Mark Evanier still does his at STCC and WonderCon, and I believe there's still one going at SuperCon in Florida, but I don't see them around as much. So I would love a script reading of a 90s or early 2000s episode of a cartoon. I would love on there to be Frank Welker and D. Bradley Baker. And Gray Delisle. I'd love to be up there. Just pretty much anyone that I can riff off of pretty well. I would love. There are so many of my friends I'd love to be up there. There's so many that would just knock it out of the park. Just so many hilarious people. Josh Keaton would be fun to have up there. Mine's pretty simple. I just love a good old fashioned script reading with some classically trained prelay actors.
Very nice. You've obviously mentioned potentially doing script reading as such, and bringing in some amazing talent there. Is there a so one of my questions was going to be, is there a project that has eluded you that you would love to voice or you would love to
Mm,
be on, and maybe you could actually bring that script into your Comic Con script reading?
interesting. I mean, Ben 10,
Yeah.
talking about the ink tank and everything. I would adore to be part of Ben 10 in any way, shape, or form. Transformers, maybe like a Transformers animated or Transformers Prime script. Uh, I was actually one of my earliest exploits in voice acting was BotCon 2011 when they were doing a script reading of an episode of Transformers Prime, and up there was Peter Cullen, Jeffrey Combs,
Oh wow.
Marky Post, Ernie Hudson, Josh Keaton, Tanya Gennady, I believe, was up there. Steve Bloom was up there. I'm used to saying Blumhouse now, but Steve Bloom.
Blumhouse,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, Steve Bloom was up there. Just a whole suite of absolutely genius actors. But the two that weren't up there were Frank Welker, couldn't make it that time, I believe, and whoever did the zombie sounds for that zombie con and in that episode. So they picked me out of the audience because I was jumping like a maniac, trying to get their attention. I really wanted to be a part of it, and they. When it comes to audience participation, I think sometimes the expectation is like, oh, it's just, the fans are going to, do what they do, and it'll be whatever level of experience they've got. But I made a good impression, I think, because they gave me the script afterwards. They all said I was brilliant, and they signed it for me. I still have it somewhere.
Oh wow.
I still have to find it and hang it up. But
Yeah,
one of
that's
the
a
proudest
keeper.
days. One of the proudest days of my life was that, and there's still, I believe, a video of it up on the Transformers YouTube channel if it hasn't been taken down. It's the 2011 Transformers Prime BotCon script reading. If anyone's curious and wants to see a
There
baby
you
Kellen
go.
doing weird sounds in front of Steve Bloom.
And if I can find it, I'll put a link in the notes as well. I feel like I need to go and try and find that on the internet.
Yeah,
It's out there.
It's one of my favorites.
So, and a couple of times there, you mentioned Josh Keaton,
Yeah,
Spider
love
Man,
Joshy. Absolutely.
Spider Man, and
Spider-Man, yes.
you are part of that universe now, my friends.
Now I am.
Now
insane
you
to
are.
think.
You're like. So I think you're credited as the alien.
Yeah, the symbiotic alien that shows up is he's sort of a fixture of the first season. Comes and through that portal with Doctor Strange and the spider that ends up biting Peter in that universe. And it was just such a pleasure to be part of that whole thing with Jeff Tremblay and Sarah Sherman. They just had me, and they're like, "Hey, we have heard your monster stuff. We would love to have you in for that." And I was like floored because I am a huge MCU head, huge Marvel
Yes,
head.
yeah, seen, yeah.
I was so honored to be a part of it, and I had to keep it quiet for so long. So I was just like, like any given one of these, you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about it. Of course, the professional thing, of course, is to never talk about it,
Yeah.
which I never do. But I was so stoked to be part of that, as both him and as Vincent Patilio, who is Leapfrog in the comics, but Doc Ock's assistant on the show. It was just so much fun to keep coming in for that, and I'm very grateful to Disney and Marvel and all of them for having me on it.
That's amazing. Yeah, and once you're working with people like that, that you would hope that the gigs will just keep rolling in for those guys, because they do like to keep using from within. So fingers crossed for you on that. Yes, well, I mean, look, you did an amazing job with the alien symbiote. So,
thank you.
I think we're just going to see. I think from everything that we've seen with the season 2 that's about to come out soon and stuff like that, and what we've heard so far, it's all looking good for Kellen on that front. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, I can only imagine. How long did you have to keep that news to yourself for? I mean, how?
Goodness gracious.
I'm being a Marvel guy.
I couldn't. I don't know if I could tell you accurately, but I feel like it was over a year to 2 years. It took a second. Oof. They wanted to make sure it was good. I'm pretty sure, and they knocked it out of the park. I adored.
Oh, that show was
what it became.
That show is amazing.
Now
stunning.
Now they got a new season coming out every year, so it is. I think they've got the formula down.
Oh, 100%. That was a great show. I loved. We've had some other reiterations of Spider-Man over the last few years, and I really loved how they brought in some of the different elements, and they're keeping it to this kind of OG, but it's got that spin on it, which was just really cool.
and super cool.
And seeing that take on the symbiote that you're playing as well. Alien, it's just
such a dream come true. I never thought I'd be. I mean, you never you never expect anything in this industry, so I never thought I would. I always hoped, but I never thought I'd be that kind of part of this of a Marvel show, and I'm so grateful for the chance, and I hope for more opportunities like that down the road.
Oh,
knock on wood.
I'm sure they're coming your way, and this is something that I've talked about as well with various voice actors as well. Just because you get these amazing shows and you're going to be in a not one hit movie, 2 hit movies, and all of this stuff, you still have that grind. You still have all of these auditions to do. You know, it's
never
of course
stop.
It's nice you get the odd phone call, but it's a grind, isn't it? Like you're doing the work, and then you're also doing more work on top with the auditions. What's that like as well? How many auditions are you putting out there?
It's like sort of equalizing in a way. Like I could go to a red carpet premiere for a movie I'm in. I could go to a convention where I meet 1,000 people who don't. Oh, you're good. Who tell me they liked what I did. I can do all of those ego boosting things, but at the end of the day, coming back, auditioning the same as everybody else on the battlefield of auditioning, we are all equal, and we are all brothers and sisters, and everything beyond and in between in arms. And it's invigorating, because it's like you never know which way any of this auditioning stuff is going to go. All you can do is bring you to it best you can, and that's honestly one of the funnest parts of it, is the experimentation phase of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing which one they pick, you know.
And has there ever been a sort of a character when you've gone for an audition and you've brought a character to what you've perceived as their character, and they've gone, that is not what we saw for this character, but we love it? Or have they
Hmm.
gone, oh, Kellen, can we just bring you back in the box? We see you went that way. Can you go that way? How's
Yeah.
any kind of stories around that you could tell us about?
Well, I mean, for Fiddlesticks in particular, the original auditions for that I turned in were a lot more. I guess a lot wetter, for lack of a better term. But then they brought me in for a callback, and they were like, "We would like to hear you make him drier because he, wind and rust and all that kind of the motifs for him. So if he can sound like a rusty gate, then that'll be dope for us." So we kept making him drier and drier and drier until they were like, "Yep, that's it." So there was that's probably the biggest example I can think of. There's Overhaul where I auditioned for both Overhaul and Sun Eater Tamaki. And at the time I had bronchitis. I had gotten it from Dragon Con a
Oh
little
wow.
bit before. So doing voice acting with bronchitis is it's a process. And I tried something way gravelier at first for Overhaul, and then something closer to what you hear today for Tamaki, because that was just my normal voice at the time. And Colleen Clickenbeard came back to me and said, try what you did for Tamaki and read through Overhaul again. And sure enough, that was the magic sauce there. Yeah, it just callbacks and feedback like that. I'm always so curious which way they're going to go with it. Sometimes they love the out there stuff. Like, I don't think they really expected anything for Fiddlesticks. I think they just wanted scary, whatever scary takes of anything anyone could do. But turned out this was the right kind of scary for Fiddlesticks, Same
Yeah.
with like zombie stuff here and there. I'm trying to think if there's any in particular that were like not what they were expecting, but they loved it. It's a tough one because usually they don't. I get why. I completely get why, but usually they don't show their hand like that unless you get into a conversation about it. And sometimes these sessions are just so fast paced that you just can't.
Straight.
So, yeah, I adore taking the time to talk with them when I can about it, but sometimes you never even meet the people who decided it was going to be you in the first place. Sometimes people you like on the executive level will make that decision, and you just do all the sessions with the voice director, different from the casting director. They can be the same, but different jobs. That was the case for JoJo. I heard they liked what I did, but I only ever worked with Tony Oliver on that, which was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but he was not in the room with the casting process there. So it varies. Is my
Yeah.
long-winded way of saying it depends.
It could be anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
This industry it's so amorphous. It could be anything. And rolling with the punches is the best way to take it.
yes, yes, indeed. I understand you are a very, very busy person at the moment. You've got a lot of more interviews to do. We're going to be taking up, so we're coming towards the end of the session with you. So thank you so much, Kellen. I just wanted to ask if you had any advice for anybody that's wanting to get into voice acting, and what kind of inspiration or important lessons you think you could pass on at this stage.
Sure. At this point, I'm not quite as sure as when I was coming up on it. I came in with kind of different methods. I think the voice acting class in person is always going to be a great way to show people who are currently working in the industry what you can do, because word travels. If you do something amazing in a class, somebody could talk about that with somebody who might be looking for someone who could do that. Then I for online stuff, if you're like not able to be in LA or Texas or New York, even though that's probably going to be the best way, just moving where the action is. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But the Voice Acting Club, which has been a staple of my career, a lot of my friends came up on the previous iteration of the Voice Acting Club, and they have a Discord server now, and I believe they still have a website. But that was an amazing resource for me as well. Finding your tribe, making sure that you're working with other creatives and keeping the juices flowing in the meantime, making some of your own stuff even to put out there on YouTube for people to find. That's a great way to get your name out there now, making your own projects. And then once you're in it and you're getting auditions or have an agent, or even if you're just finding auditions where you can find them, Casting Call Club or whatever, the best you can do is to bring something only you can bring to it. Don't do what you think they're looking for. Do what you think would work for the character, because your mind has something different in mind.
Yeah, that's again being very true to yourself and true to that character, isn't it?
Being true to yourself,
your truth, isn't it?
Yep.
Kellen, thank you so much for coming on with me today. I really appreciate it. I would love to chat to you again after all of the success of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We can actually talk about some stuff and perhaps
golden chains removed. Yes.
Yeah, yes, that would be amazing. But for now, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Kellen Goff, thanks, man. See you later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much to Kellen for coming on the show and talking so eloquently about all of the work that they've been doing, all of the autism stuff as well. It was really inspiring. Thank you so much for that. And look, we wish you all the best of luck with Five Nights at Freddy 2. It's going to be incredible. Season 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is on the way. Make sure you're checking all of that stuff out. Make sure you're giving Kellen a follow over on their other socials as well. And hopefully we'll get you back on the show to talk about all of the success you're still having. But that's it for now. So please make sure you're liking, subscribing, leave a comment or a review. That would really help. But for now, that's episode 7 of Beyond the Comic Con. Thank you.